And now, the continuing adventures of Higgins Sunbottom as he makes a name for himself at Z. I don't even remember what I was doing last. I think I somehow made it back from a horrible journey. I mean, this isn't even very long from then. It was like yesterday. I can't remember a damn thing I was doing. I've been busy. But, oh, right. I made some notes about things I want to talk about. So here's a little interesting bit. If you play the game the way it's supposed to be, which is in regular mode, which means you don't use any manual saves, you can't continue after you die, etc., you get this thing called the Invictus Token, which of course has a quote from the famous poem by William Ernest Henley, "I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul." It's a thing about being self-deterministic, even in the face of, sea monsters. Okay. Here we go. This guy's always fun. A very fine evening to you, Captain. My, what you might call mentor, is very fond of adventurous zee-captains, and would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation, on account of he is so fond of zee-captains. Behind the blind bruiser, on the dock, stands a dray piled high with fuel and supplies. All right. Is there a catch? That is a good question. It runs a very fine and very liberal establishment just across the river, what is much patronized by sailors and by men of wit and vinegar, and public house. And public. There is no obligation to speak of. My patron would hope only that you might remember him kindly. I suppose that if the opportunity should arise for you to return his kindness, then I do not imagine he would refuse your offer. So that's it. A mysterious offer from a man that's holding a knife. I will, of course, accept it because the suspicion is awesome, and all these extra supplies are very useful. Well, my patron hopes that you find these little gifts to your liking. He expects that perhaps someday you might choose to call on him at the Medusa's head. Should that day come, we will make you very welcome and give you any safe conduct you might require. Good evening to you. He salutes and is gone. Yeah, so the idea is I'm now in cahoots with some unsavory types, but I'm okay with that. I've still got so much Z to Z. I mean, Z to C. Ugh. Alright, full speed ahead. Oh god, I'm gonna blow up, aren't I? Trying to make trouble. Just trying to see the Z. See the Z. See the Z. There's something about all that crap. Something I just can't quite place my zung on. Nice, more secrets. Oh, you're too slow. Yes, made it. Right, shove off. We've made it to Guider's Morn. The Morn is a stalagmite, vast as a crag, and its foot has no safe harbors. The Corsair's citadel nestles halfway up. An intricate system of winches takes the strain, and your ship rises slowly from the Z. Her hull creaks in protest. Grizzled sailors groan and cling to stanchions. Higher, higher. Now the undersea shimmers like glass below. Children clambering in crevices cheer and wave alarmingly. The winch motor slows, and you hang in a cradle next to a red-bowed pirate cutter. So yeah, this is a pirate base. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. You can collect intelligence, but it's not that easy. And typically, it's also the first thing that I do. Guider's Morn swarms with pirates, smugglers, and captains of uncertain allegiance. You'll learn a lot here, but you'll need to go carefully. Let's see. The whisper is that a connate trimaran resupplied here last week under a flag of careful truce. That implies something interesting about connate fleet movements. The Admiralty would love to know. So not only... Oh, wow, that's actually really good. Not only did I get a port report, but I got a little bit of strategic information. Which everyone loves. Everyone. Alright. Let's do a little bit of exploring, shall we? There's a surprising quantity of actual landscape on the Morn. It's vertical, admittedly, but once you find the beast paths and urchin roads, you can traverse it as you would a rocky moor, an additional throatful of lurching terror. I mean, I don't know if you can tell from the picture here, but this thing is kind of big. Big enough to put multiple boats in dry dock up top. Yeah. A fall from that height would be fatal. Right. A high place. The zee like a rippled sheet of night green jade. The roof of the neath above. Bellied with stalactites and pricked with false star. Look out across the water. What are you thinking of? Personally, I'm kind of wondering what exactly that false star is. I'm assuming that it's some type of slightly reflective metal or jewel that just sparkles in the light that's cast all over the place. Let's see. So I can reflect on my future, my past. I can pray to the gods, salt, storm, or stone. Surprised that I know the words to speak. Oh yeah, I've got the attention. Or I could just think about the wide black Z. Personally, I'm wondering about my own past. The years before you came to Z, studying time, blood, and starlight. The joy of knowledge. The shame of mockery. You understand more every day. The Neath is full of secrets. You can't learn them all, but you can learn more than anyone living. Huh. Poignant. Ah, yes. It's also a fantastic place to sell firkins of prisoner's honey. Prisoner's honey is exactly what it sounds like. It's an actual type of honey fed with a special plant. Both the bees and the plant come from the Untersee. It's got sort of a drug-like effect that allows you to float into a bizarre dream state, and it's worth a decent amount here. You can also sell crates of human souls and all sorts of weird stuff. Creeping tendrils, fungus, seaweed, unnameable flora. We enter the snares. Oh, and look a monkey crag. I love this place. I wouldn't quite lick it, but I love it. And it looks like I found a maelstrom. Not quite sure what happens if you go into a maelstrom, but it might be bad. Oh god, sharks. Ooh, is this... Ooh, what do we have here? Oh. No, go away, shark. Trying to land my zip here. Shit, zip. Ah, god damn it. Ah, cool, Pigmo Isle. Two houses, both alike in dignity. So this is a pretty involved adventure. So bear with me for a bit. There's no habitation in sight, no market. Very little in the way of a maintained dock. A stretch of sand thickens into damp black earth, from which sprout stunted palms? Not quite. Tall fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. These growths appear sparse near the beach, but clump closer together the farther inland one goes, clustering tightly into a sort of forest around the base of the island's central hill. You can see off in the distance dots of fire flecking the horizon and hear clamor, shouts, and shot. If you look to the quay, you can make out the unusual shapes of two tiny figures. As you step on the quay, you hear clamor, shouts, and shot. You can see, off in the distance, smoke rising from beyond the hill, and dots of fire flecking the horizon. Two tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving, rather as if waiting your approach. A delegation. Delightful. The figures are rodents. To your left is a Ratus Faber wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To your right is an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the High Middle Ages. Ratus Faber is essentially a sentient rat. They're really good at inventing things. Think an entire species of gadget from Rescue Rangers, and you're good. The rat steps forward first and bows. Welcome, Captain, to Rat Star Island. I am Edgar, Second Chief Engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The rat steps back. At precisely the same moment, with what appears to be the ease of long habit, the guinea pig scuttles forward and makes a declamatory chirp. Oh my god, is he popcorning? Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Cavia. I am Lady Augusta Devereux Swinch, doing the wrong voice for that, of the Blackwater Swinches, seneschal to our King Grice now, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The two stand at attention, looking at you expectantly. That does sound quite rehearsed, so let's see. Two remarkable rodents stand, sit, squat before you. To whom will you speak first? I suppose I'll speak to the chief engineer. His eyes have a wave-cold glint to them, and he wears his scars like jewels. You ask the chief engineer to elaborate. He looks at you for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London, its cats and snuffers, its rat-skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat. The chief engineer nods towards the distant hill. One day we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked the rat star to be our light, our beacon, and our flag. But the pigs of KV saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist them to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them? Yeah, that's kind of the story here. There's rats and guinea pigs going at it. But let's see what the seneschal has to say. The seneschal clears her throat with the delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. Grace now the king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months had adjourned on the sea, conquered this land and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak beyond mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance. Assured shall be the glories in their fall, when our lady's eye restored be to their hall. The seneschal composes herself, then adds, We saw truth and beauty by the light of Our Lady's eye on Mount Caveat. The rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? Yeah. It's not exactly Paragon or Renegade, but guinea pigs are rats. Also, it's impossible to broker peace. Side note. Wanting to favor the seneschal. You bow to the seneschal, who purrs with pleasure, while the chief engineer gnashes his teeth but keeps his distance. You've chosen wisely, Captain, says the seneschal. Come and I'll explain our situation to you in greater detail. Oh, fantastic. Oh, little guinea pigs are going to popcorn. Also, that's what they look like. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that the great thing? The seneschal leads you to the southern side of the island, skirting in the chicken woods. You pass through a number of raised mounds of earth fixed with fortifying strips of mushroom flesh, which you suppose to be makeshift walls. The settlement is dazzling. The side of the island appears to be absolutely wreathed in skintillac. That stuff's actually valuable, and I believe I need it. The cavy's dwelling is awash with silver phosphorescence. You look around. It's a large colony. Most noticeable is the steam pennants, the impossible lamb that's run aground from which the cavies come and go, bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, farther down the beach, a large group of cavies lie in bundles of colorful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship is a ramshackle tent of poles and linen in front of which guinea pigs clash against each other and sharpen their teeth. In the center of the village is a covered dais, veritably festooned with colorful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. You suspect this is where King Graysnaw keeps counsel. Be welcome, Captain, in the kingdom of Cavia, capital of our isle, and blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye. Seneschal speaks solemnly, but there's a hint of sadness to her words. For so it was, and shall be again. I must speak with our king and prepare your arrival. The page will show you the area and bring you in sight of his splendor in good time. Page! Much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with a slender strip of parabola linen, scurries over and bows. The seneschal takes her leave. So from this point, I get to explore all over this island, or rather, as far as the extent of the text adventure allows. What's interesting? Outside of indie stuff made in Twine, interactive fiction, and all that, you don't really see a lot of text adventure-y stuff these days. The only other game I can think of that actually does this that I have on Steam is Space Rangers HD, which is amazing. But let's check out their barracks. I didn't have to read all that. That was all extra stuff. The page leads you to the barracks, where the knights don't deign to speak to one so undecorated as you. The page, however, is eager to answer your questions. The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet, but a sword without a blade? Ours are the supplies, the knives, the soft stuffs, and the glory. Their teeth are sharp, it's true, while ours... The page hesitates as knights glower at him. Are sharper! All praise the flowers of the house of KV. One knight preens while the other grunts indifference, working a whetstone along its top front teeth. While you watch, a particularly vigorous swipe knocks a hole incisor out of place, lands on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight gasps, grasps the tooth, and vanishes from sight, while the other glares in a way that dares you to make something of it. Ooh. I'm not exactly sure if that's malnourishment or idiocy. Either way, I'm kind of curious about this steam penance. Wasn't it reported overrun by rats? Like, the rats I saw earlier. Page chitters while you inspect the vessel. Rats, never! The splendor of Cavia overtook this vessel. I was born here, the first native of Cavia, but all our elders remember the voyage. It was hard, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks, and no one speaks of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of Our Lady's eye, guiding us here to our own isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps, but once we have recovered our eye... Is it not splendid? Certainly may have been at one time, but you can see the hull's been severely damaged by the Skintillac Reef. There's no way the cavies can hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page says, they're stranded here. Wow. These guys are a lot of bluff and buster. Alright, go to the hospice. Apparently there are some quarantined guinea pigs. An elderly-looking cavie greets you, eyeing you gravely. Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. This isle was our salvation. The stronger among us made pilgrimage towards the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, we were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet waters, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, preparing our children and raising them to love Our Lady's eye and see it in deliverance. The elder looks sorrowfully at the sick under his care. Since the rat stole her, the sickness has returned. All this light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing, the elder's ears and voice flatten in a hiss, that helps our condition is the flesh, the very hearts and livers of the rats who stole her from us. Oh, that's dismal. That is dismal, but entirely expected from anything from Fallen London. I've seen all you need to see here. Time to see if the king is ready to receive you. The page leads you, crouching at first, and then on your knees before King Gracenaw in the seneschal. King is the largest guinea pig you've ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knight in his retinue. Seneschal looks positively dainty next to him. We are told, intones the king, that you have promised your assistance to the house of Cavey. It is agreeable to us, but what form shall your assistance take? Oh, dang. So I can either offer to find their eye, which is insanely difficult. Ugh, 28%. 100? Not even possible. I'm just going to give him some medicine, because I don't want to risk myself horribly. You'd rather not get directly involved, but you can spare some salves and brews from the hold. Acceptable. Your crew hauls a crate of medicines to shore, and the seneschal nods of approval. Adequate. These will go a considerable way towards fortifying us for the next battle. We thank you. The Cavies reward you with a store of coal from the steam pinnace, as well as... well, it's not like you haven't eaten rat flesh before. They gift you with fine fabrics, too. A favor to remember us by, smiles the seneschal. So, well, that's fantastic. Thanks for the rat flesh. Right, you've given the House of Cavey all the assistance you can. What next? Oh my god, I can invite a Cavey. Oh, I can have my own little guinea pig. They're reputed to be excellent swimmers. They're adorable enough to boost morale, and if times are lean, well, maybe a guinea pig stew will buy the crew a day or two before they start eating each other. Nice. The seneschal, of course, can't abandon her duties, but she makes certain your request is cried out in the village square. The page squeaks excitedly and seeks permission from her to join your party. I will record your doings for the glory of Cavey, he declares. I'd like to see more of the world. You wait for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. Oh, fantastic. So this is another officer that I can equip over... Oh yes, there's nothing left for me here except the story of the place. So I get a port report, which is always interesting. And I get a new mascot, the guinea page. A scholarly creature from a warlike nation of aristocratic guinea pigs whose progenitors stole a steamer to escape the locked hutches of a London essayist, apparently. Yeah, cool. And he's so cute with his little hat. I'm going to replace my comatose ferret. As much as I'd love to have a ferret on board constantly, I mean, I guess I still do. He's just not specifically, like, one of my officers, so whatever. Back to Z. You can expect long adventures like that sometimes when you stop at specific places. If you like really good writing, it is, of course, something worthwhile. And, oh, I believe I got some parabola linen. Who plucks the flax from the banks of rivers that flow through sleep? Ooh, interesting. Does that mean it's linen made from dreams? Oh, come here, little guy. No, you're not getting away from me. Oh, wait. Maybe I'm not getting away from you? Alright. Boom. Oh, I'm not doing very good here. But for some reason, if you just stare at him for a bit, you can just wipe him. It's kind of hilarious. Unfortunate, but hilarious. Alright. The gilliflor. Is it a young jellyfish? A lesser subspecies? Do the dreams of jellyfish become real? In any case, now it's a sad sack of goo dissolving into the zee. You can scoop it up and make it into supplies. Very delicious sounding, correct? Or you can just let it disperse. Watch its royal rainbow colors fade. From above, the gilliflor's cap looks a little like a woman's face. She dissolves like smeared paint. And that becomes a Ztory, which is, of course, another thing that I physically keep on me and can trade. Which I'm perfectly okay with, honestly. Oh god, that was a bad idea. Go past little crab cake here. Hello, crab cake. Z-bats cry out. They're nothing like birds. No, they're just bats. They're deadly in packs. And there we go. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to explore the morn again while I'm here. Fights on the morn have a staccato quality. A careless lunge will send you plummeting to your doom. So wait, and choose your moment carefully. You can choose to fight or flee. Either way, I don't really have a very good chance. I'm going to try to flee, of course. The better part of valor is discretion. The better part of discretion is not falling off a high cliff into a rock-fanged sea. Whoops. One pulse-pounding chase through the shanties of Guiders Morn later. You finally evade pursuit. You count heads. Ooh, one short. Whoops. Well, that's another dead dude. Unfortunately, I believe that's a little bit too many dead dudes, because now I can't go full speed. Lovely. Limping along is not going to help, and since I'm in the middle of pirate territory, I'm just going to have to cross my fingers and hope. Now, Fallen London, just its writers, all the stuff they've come up with, it really succeeds on an interesting level. Just that whole air of mystery that it has, writing-wise. If you listen to Welcome to Night Vale, it's kind of a similar thing, like unexplainable events, unknowable things. Lots of fun. Of course, people don't quite enjoy things being unknowable, but in this case, you just sort of let yourself go with it. Uh-oh. Don't want to fight that guy. Turning my lights off, which is never the greatest idea. Oh fuck. Uh-oh. Okay, I think they're getting bored now. Oh no, they're just going faster. Oh crap. Oh, all my crew. It's seriously just me and another guy. Okay, now they're bored. And I found Quaker's Haven in the middle of a fog bank. Amazing. Oh, keep running, keep running. Almost there. We can just reach the docks. Yes! My house. Or rather, my zee. Ugh. Bastards. Awesome. Time to get that port report. The fishermen. They sail the zee around the island. They mend their nets by the harbor. They see all that happens here, but you'll need coin to open their mouths. Little ships and little secrets. Pirates plying the waves. Smugglers at their work. Khanate ships putting into resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. That's all I need. I suppose, while I'm here, I shall visit the hilltop above the town. There's not much wind on the Untersee, but Mutton Island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicably local fragment of weather, and the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. You stand on a cliff top, looking over the little village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upwards. As you watch, the smoke tilts. The sudden wind thins it to a pencil smudge, then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly, like a god cut in half. What a noise! It must be the caves around the island channeling the air. At least, that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. Interesting. I don't have enough money to go drinking, so I suppose I should chill out here until that pirate ship leaves, and then leave myself. Cutting it a little bit short here. Fortunately, I'm in what's technically home waters. Most of the beasts and pirate ships you meet around here are a little bit easier to fight. Like this guy right here, the Auroral Megalops. What a lame little creature. These things mostly exist to be... Uh-oh. Interesting. Your cheeks are wet. You think for a moment that it's Z-spray, but then the sorrow hits you like a falling stalactite. You are weeping. You double over, inconsolable. Ooh, might as well give myself to it. Your crew watch in alarm as you collapse to the deck. Tears burst from your eyes. Your body is racked with sobs. It passes as suddenly as it started, but your thoughts are stained dark with unlikely grief. Ooh. That's spooky. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that just happens all the time out here. Best not to think of it. While we're here, we can eat this delicious thing. Eat it while it's fresh, because it sort of immediately starts evaporating after you kill it. Another one? Oh, come on. Uh-oh. The lookout shouts. Far above, the false stars in the cavern roof are shifting. A rare and ominous event. What now? Personally, what I like to do is record the change and assign a name. I guess that's my inner wannabe astronomer talking. The new shape seems well-omened. Your crew may be cheered. Who knows? Ooh, okay, so it's the Z-Bat. Bats his luck! A gap-toothed stoker avers. I'll agree. Leathery, but lucky. Wow. I can use as much luck as I can get at this point. Limping about as I have. I mean, let's get some knowledge out of this. Only a single meager fragment, but you know. It's more just the thought that counts, I guess. But I cannot begin to stress how much danger I'm in right now. Anytime you take a hit when your health is this low, when your ship's hull is this low, you have a chance of losing crew. I have 2 crew, and one of them's me. So, yeah. If I get hit twice and lose a crew each time, that's game over. Also, if I go too fast and my engine explodes and I lose 2 crew, that's game over. Or, if any number of things happen, it's game over. Fortunately, I'm already at London, so, go me? Ooh. A Zailor raises her head, sniffs sharply. Blood on the wind. Oh, and one of these weird random storylets popped up. In the watches of the night, you pad softly past the hatch to the crew quarters. A man cries softly in his sleep, desperately. Another. There's really only one, so I guess he's just crying a lot. I'm gonna ignore them. The captain can't be seen to take these things seriously. The crew's subdued as they take their meals, but all is quiet in the next watch. Yeah, this game loves to throw story at you pretty much constantly, but that's its charm. Wow. Oh, great. Of course, the first thing I do after pulling in after such an arduous journey is get assaulted by the Ministry of Public Decency. Some things are too illegal for the Customs Service to admit the existence of. The Ministry are here looking for those. I don't actually have anything illegal, so let them try. They leave scuff marks in the newly scrubbed decks and take great pleasure in tangling the rigging. They find nothing more dangerous than a moldy ship's biscuit. Oh, cool. So now I lost that suspicion that I got from dealing with the blind bruiser. And of course, every so often when you come back, you also get some messages from the harbor master. And I've got some interesting ones. I've got a free evening. I can talk with that blind bruiser. And I can get some more crew. Right. Good evening, citizen. Remember, I started calling myself citizen before. And what a marvelous evening it is, if you don't mind saying so, and given it is my impression that you're an obliging sort, I imagine you will not mind at all. And since you are so very obliging, perhaps you wouldn't mind making a little detour via Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo. If you happen to be in the area, the cheery man will, of course, cover your expenses for this trifling inconvenience. I will certainly do that. After all, it is a trifling inconvenience. And after all, he did give me that fantastic gift earlier. Also, that man has a knife. If you'd be so kind to deliver this little gift to our friends in Mount Palmerston, then they will see we gets to hear about it. And when you come back, we'll cover your expenses. Bon voyage, as my aunt, who was French by birth if not by inclination, used to like to say. Yes, and as you can see, Mount Palmerston is generally northeast of London. And apparently I have a crate of souls. Unstamped souls. See, in Fallen London, dealing in human souls is perfectly okay. However, you know, if it's not properly taxed, then you're doing something bad against the crown, and they're going to get you for it. So I'm doing a smuggling run. I'm okay with that. All shall be well, and all matter of things shall be well very quickly. There we go. Now, Admiralty Favor is kind of weird. If it's not like an achievement visit or something, you can only get about 2 maximums, so you need to get strategic information to get more. It's a little bit too much to go over. But whatever, let's see what kind of new recruits we get. Oh, the Sigil-Ridden Navigator. See, if we go over to here, you can see he's got a big tattoo on his head, and it apparently just grows when you're not looking. He's also going to be our new first officer. Have fun, buddy. And he can increase our mirrors. Lovely. Well, I suppose this is a decent note to end off. Another successful, questionable adventure from Higgins Sunbottom. I kind of want to keep this going. It's pretty fantastic. And I would like to see if I'm actually able to survive all the way up until the actual release. So, until next time.